Hope the presentation is visible. PPT is visible. Yeah, shall we start? Yeah, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, so we are starting here, and we started off with research methodology, right? So let me for some time I'll stop the sharing, and I will resume the sharing of the PPT after we have discussed the the basics, okay, whatever which we have discussed in our last session. Okay, we started off with why research, what is research methodology, and why it is conducted, and on what occasions or for what kind of events no a research has to be conducted. And research is, it doesn't have to be like conducted to find a solution to a problem, but it could also be conducted to find the reasons for an event happening. Okay, what factors has triggered that event, any organizational event for that matter. So what has triggered that event, and the scope is no to find the outcome of the event. So if a research is being done, there should be a probable outcome, right? And a few researchers will be carried out without knowing a definite timeline to get the outcome. For example, scientific researches. So in any scientific research, we cannot predict the exact date of the outcome. So sometimes, no, it could continue for days, weeks, months, or sometimes years as well to find the final outcome. And other than that, you have, like academic researchers carried out. And these academic researchers or guys, make sure you have muted the audio. Mohammed Dilshad. Okay. Yes, fine. Where were we? Yep. So, well, whichever research is being conducted, whether it's academic or organizational or scientific, the thing is, even though the results are published, there could be a re-research done on the same topic, right? So nothing is no like a finalized solution or the finalized answer. So repeated researches could be like done on the same topic again and again to find the other possible outcomes. Okay. Take academic research. Usually, it has a fixed timeline because no, like once you have started the research, and the first 6 months would be a coursework, and that is the the complete excerption of like what you're going to research about, and then finally, there will be a time frame to submit your research. You have to attend the Viva voice and everything, right? So that you will be graded on that. Okay, so that part separately. And the scientific researchers, it's continuous research. It keeps on going, and re-researches are being like done on the same topic or the same factors again and again. So scientific researchers apart. Okay. So next is our organizational research, because since we are dealing with like everything with related to corporates, organization, and companies. So the research is done in the organizations, right? So for what purpose it is done? So an event has happened. It could be a positive event or a negative event. Sometimes it could be a neutral event. Neutral event in the sense neither positive nor negative. For example, the HR department conducting interviews. Okay. So conducting an interview, no, like it's not a negative factor. At the same time, we cannot say no, it's a positive factor as well. Though the company, like is trying to same, like take the talents, no, into their organization. Sometimes, no, it could give you an adverse result as well. Okay, and maybe the whole interview, no thing, no, like it may not give you good results because no, like you haven't like identified the talents, like among the participants, whoever has come for the interview. So depending on the outcome, an event can be, like considered as a negative or a positive one. Okay, other than that, you can conduct research on general organizational operations. Like, for example, I've already mentioned conducting an interview. So you can conduct a research about, like the employees, the commitment level or the motivational level in the organization. So what has changed, what has happened, and you can even conduct, like a research about the gender ratio, in a particular department or a particular organization or in a particular location of the company. Okay, so that could be also done. Okay. And we also discussed with an example, right? Like for example, yeah, I think to your batch, I think so. I hope so. I mentioned this, yeah, female boss, yeah, female boss, like taking up the position. The employees, like they are few of the employees, part of the employees, they are resisting the decision, right? Like taken by the management to employ a female as a in a leadership position, because like few employees will be like experienced, and a few would be like already they know the process. They would have been like comfortable in like dealing with male bosses, because because of the same gender factor, they'll be very much comfortable in like dealing with male bosses. But like when it comes to female boss, and like much younger than them in terms of experience, in terms of age, few employees like may not like that. Okay, they may dislike the decision taken by the manager. So what would be the result? Obviously, there would not be like a commitment. The work, the commitment level they have shown as of now, like that may deteriorate, and the sometimes absenteeism may happen, and on the other hand, completion of task. Yeah, so that um okay, why I'm getting okay. So completion of task, like that may get delayed. It may not be like happening on time. So these could be the adverse effects of like an event has happened. So this event has like triggered some negative effects as well. So it all depends on the perception level and the the experience level of the employees working in a particular organization. Okay, so let's see what else we have discussed, and types of researches. Okay, how can no researches could be done? So it could be done through qualitative and quantitative, as well as mixed methods. So in qualitative, we discussed about where there is no data available or data is not necessary actually. So by conducting interviews, by like speaking with the people involved in that event, so they could know like by asking them questions, you can collect the data, and you can know like go with the research, or you can know like go with observations. Just observe, know like what is happening, know like how behavior is changing, or how the commitment level of
Hello,
know like
ma'am.
how the
Hello,
communication is know like
ma'am.
everything changing.
Ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Screen is not visible.
I haven't shared yet. I have disabled the screen sharing. Okay, I'm yet to share. Yeah. We are just discussing about what have we like in our last session, what and all we have discussed. No, like that's what I'm just recollecting it to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. By observing, okay, by observing the event, or no, the after effects of the event, you can do a qualitative research, and collect all the points, whatever you have observed. You can make it as a point, or you can make it as a, like a factor, and you can, like do a research on that. Or otherwise, no, you can conduct case studies. Case studies in the sense, you can refer the previous cases, the same kind of cases or the same kind of events, no, which has happened in the organization, same organization or other different organizations, with the same employees, or with no like other employees and other companies or other departmental employees. So through case studies, no, you can come to a conclusion. Okay. And then we went with quantitative research. Quantitative research means obviously you need past history, you need past data. So whatever has happened in the past, with related to like the previous commitment level of these employees, or premium the previous task achievements of these employees, and the morale they had like before this new female boss has like taken up the position, taken up the role. So what was the morale level these employees had, and now how it has changed. So you need some past data to conduct the quantitative research. So collect all the past data, and based on that data, you can make use of AI, you can make use of any technology, but definitely statistical approach should be there. Okay. Many statistical analysis has to be conducted if you're taking up a quantitative research. Other than that, you have combined approach also. So that also we discussed, that is mixed methods research, combined. So wherever it is necessary, you can take up the qualitative thing, and wherever it is necessary, you can take up the quantitative thing, and you can integrate both and submit the final results. And again, the final result you're submitting, it could be a suggestion to the management, or it could be a suggestion to the department, or it could be the suggestion to the employees, or it could be the suggestion to the new female boss. Okay. But again, the same research topic can be re-researched again. I mean, once a suggestion has been given, for the next few weeks or few months, the team and the new boss, everyone like they could be observed for some time, monitored for some time. We can check whether they have not taken up our suggestions, whether they are implementing our suggestions, and whether those suggestions after implementation, whether it is working out for them positive way or not. So all these things through monitoring, by observing, you can find it out. And if the result is positive, make that suggestions make those ideas as something standardized thing, and like everyone can follow. But if the suggestions is being implemented but it is not giving a positive result, again it has given a negative result, then this topic, this event has to be re-researched again. But if the suggestion is not even taken at all, not even considered, the research has been done, the observation is done, the results are published, and you have like gave some conclusion and suggestions like you have come up with, but both the parties, neither of them like they are not taking the suggestion seriously, they are still going with the same kind of level of commitment, low level of commitment or low moral. Then with the with discussing with the management, then you can decide like what has to be done in the next level. Okay. Because conducting a research again and again, when it is like not implemented, that is of no use. It's waste of money, waste of time, and waste of energy. Okay, so yeah, then we saw like different types of research, classifications: basic research, applied research, correlational research, descriptive, ethnographic, experimental, and one more, exploratory research. Fine. Then let me see what we have discussed. Okay, so then we like discussed a little in depth about taking the literature review, considering the literature review for our organizational research. So what is a literature review? Go with like anything happened in the past. Speak with your top management. You can ask like same type of event, like has it already happened in the past? Or you can ask the departmental heads, or you can now ask the senior employees, or you can like get suggestions from the whole industry, like through any kind of communication, you can get a suggestion. What is the same thing happening in other organization as well? In the other organizations, or they accepting female employees, female bosses, do they accept it or not? Do they work under female bosses or not? Or they okay with that? And what is the effect like happening there? So all these things you can do the literature review, and make sure that at the final, once everything is done, you have to document this. Documenting the research is the Very, very important part because it serves as a solid evidence, no, of whatever you have done. And it could help the other employees of the organization as well in the future. Okay, so I think that's all, no, like we discussed in our last session. I do, I mean, I hope, no, like I've covered everything. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, let's
Mom, I
start
like to
with
know something about the research methodology more. Like it's
mhm,
qualitative.
quality. Sorry,
It's quantitative and qualitative. So I like to know about the
quality.
quality. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, a qualitative research is done when you're expecting shorter outcomes. Okay. If the results has to be published very quickly and you don't have no like proper historical data in your hand and you don't have time no to collect all those historical data, in those cases qualitative research could be done. So how it could be done is just no like speak with the people who were no, involved in that event. For example, um, okay, there is a, say you're working as a supervisor or you're not working as a say uh, manager, no, in a manufacturing department. Okay, whatever. So okay, one employee, one worker has no like got into a scuffle with another worker. Okay, they both had an argument. It all started no like with a little communication and it became an argument and finally both of them no they got into some scuffle. So oh no, then no like it has become a serious problem. So for this no like you cannot take more time, no, you cannot go with quantitative research thing because no this is something so like sensitive thing where the decisions has to be immediately taken because when workers get into scuffle, that is a serious thing. As long as it is no in communication, that doesn't matter at all. Things could be no like solved. But when they know like get into scuffle, it means no, they are taking up violence no in their hand. So this thing has to be dealt immediately. There is no space or there is no time for conducting qualitative research, no, and checking no what has happened previously. Has the same event happened in other organization? There is no like reason for that at all. Immediately the action has to be taken. So whoever knows the problem, no, immediately they have to be no warned or no sent out of the the company immediately. So in these type of events, no, when the decision has to be immediately taken, you can go for qualitative research. Now we already discussed what is qualitative research, right? So through interviews, through observations, no like you can get the results quickly. So ask, no, interview the persons, no, who were involved in the scuffle, who were there, who were present at the no when this event has occurred. So you collect all the information from them, and no, like you can then come up with the suggestion to the management. Or you can go with no like observation in the sense no, even though if you're not present at the venue, maybe no because of technology, with the use of technology you have cctvs no installed everywhere, right? So the use of technology you can observe what has happened and you can no like come to a conclusion. Understood? So that is qualitative research. So that is taken only when the time is limited and that is for shorter decision making and when quantitative data is not available or not required. But when it comes to like quantitative research, that is taken because there should be a long time impact of the result. Clear? You're no like planning for something long time, not for immediate decision making, but no, you're planning for something good, a positive thing for a long time, and you want to know like normalize or standardize that positive thing in your organization. Okay. For example, there is a low employee morale. Okay. Say your company has no like it had an intake of around 60 employees for a particular project. Okay. And you see that once the probation period is over, the employees, when they like started working on the real time projects, you see that no, they are not up to the mark. So 60 employees, the company would have invested a lot, no, a lot of money, energy, and time and other resources, no, to intake these employees, conduct interviews, intake these employees, giving training to them, right? So they would have taken a lot of efforts, and no, they would have spent a lot of resources, your company. So that's not an easy thing to sack all the 60 employees, right? So in this thing, no, like you can take up the quantitative research technique. You can like take some time, analyze each and every employee, check what has happened wrong, what is wrong from their side, or what is wrong from the company's side. So why expected results are not happening. So here you have data. You have 60 people in hand, which could be taken as samples. You have you can refer the past events, you can check the literature, and you can do some observation also, right? So you have enough time, because for in this scenario, immediate decision is not required. Anyhow, your organization is planning to keep the 60 employees. Okay, so they are going to see how these people are going to perform in another 1 or 2 years. Then they will take a decision who is going to stay, who is going to go out. Yeah, so you have enough time. Now it's clear.
Hey, mom, thank you. It's my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better data, it's
Mhm.
better recharge. Is this finally?
uh I didn't get you. Can you repeat your question? Sorry.
It's my mom's. It's better
Mhm.
data, it's better
Mhm.
result. It's for
Yeah,
qualitative
obviously.
recharge.
Yeah. Yes, of course, of course. So when you're selecting your data, that is the samples, no, when you're planning to select some samples for conducting a research, that should be very much quality one. Quality one in the sense, say you cannot ask a security personnel, no, who was standing at the gates of the company about what has happened, no, in the manufacturing floor, because no, that person is completely unaware of what has happened here. So there is no use of involving that sample, no, security personnel who was not in the scene at all, not in the event, no, like was not present in the event. So whom you should select is the better samples, the quality samples who were present in the event. Clear? Yeah. Yes, what you said is true.
Tom, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. I think now I have shared my screen. Hope everyone can see it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay then. Fine. Okay, we can continue. So today this session, we will see about the research design. Okay, so what are all the how to go with the research design, or the other types, classifications of the design. So you have uh, sample design. That is, no, it's a method of selecting an item. So first you have to make a decision of what sample you are going to choose. Then is the observational design, and then is the statistical design. So out of that particular sample, how many samples you are going to choose for your research? First is what samples you are going to use, and the second is among that sample, how many samples you are going to take. So sample design, this deals with the technique of selecting items and thus requires careful observation for the given research study. So select the item which you want to, do the research, on which you have to do the research. For example, so we spoke about this case, right? So two workers, no, getting into, no, like a scuffle, no, a fight, a violent fight, no, in the factory premises, okay, in the manufacturing premise. So who will be the sample size? Obviously, the other workers, the supervisor, no, who was present at that time, the shift supervisor, the manager, and you can include a HR as well, no, like while conducting the research. And who else could be there? The people, no, who were around it. Okay. And the next thing is the statistical design. That is, no, like out of them, out of all the workers, how many of them know you're going to select. Clear? And observational design is relates to the condition under which the experiments are to be conducted. So what conditions, under what condition no, it has to be like conducted, whether to come up with a decision or just to inquire what has happened or to check out whose fault it is, and or to know what do you say, just for the reference, do you conduct the research? So for what reason, or no, for what, under what conditions no, the experiment or the research is being conducted. And finally, the operational design. So it all deals with the methods by which the procedures specified in the sample. Okay, so through which method no, you're going to conduct the research, whether it's quantitative or qualitative, or are you going to use observational, or going to use any statistical measures to conduct the research? So these are the types of research design. So why it is needed? Okay, mostly research design is taken while we are conducting quantitative research. It facilitates a smooth sailing of various research operation, and it is very efficient as possible, yielding because maximum information from the minimal expenditure of effort, time, and money is taken. Clear? And sampling, it all refers to the number of samples, that is no number of persons or number of factors no, you're going to take for your research. Okay, so for example, the factory will be the manufacturing premise, it may be having say 100 workers will be working together. So when you're going to take an immediate decision, you cannot inquire or conduct an interview with 100 workers, right? You have to select only few. So those few are the samples. So measuring a small portion of something and then making a general statement about the whole thing. Okay, so that's sampling. So why sampling? For economy purpose, as I said, you cannot involve all the 100 workers, because it takes time, it takes energy, sometimes it may take some money as well. So for economy purpose, selecting a particular sample from the huge crowd, that is always good. And it's for speed, yeah. So speed involve only those persons who were very close to the event. Okay, so wherever the event has happened, whoever was working very closely to that scene, so involve them one. So it will be speed, the sampling will be very speedily done. And for accuracy purpose, okay, because say worker A and worker B, they got into a violent fight, and even though the people who were very close to the event, even though they have given their whatever they have seen, given insight about whatever they have seen, the other workers maybe their answers may be biased, their suggestions may be biased. Okay, say for example, I may like worker A because he is a known friend of mine for a very long time. So even though the fault is with him, I may not say that he is at fault, because I know him very low for a long time. So my suggestion, my answer is something biased. Okay, so that's why for accuracy purpose, sampling is always better. Select only those good samples, quality samples, better samples if you want better results. Okay, so accuracy, bias is absent from the sample. That's why we are using it. Say, for example, a company is thinking of lowering its price for a soap bar product. After making a survey in the sales of the product in a known mall, they concluded that they will not cut down the price of the soap bar since there was an increase in sales compared to the last year. So bias is present in the study since company based its decision for the sales of a known mall which have consumers who can afford high priced products, right? Since they could afford it, the sales was high. So for that particular reason, you cannot say no. I cannot cut down the price of the product which your company is providing in the market. They did not consider the sale of the products in other area wherein they have middle class or lower class consumers. So this is a sample of example of biasing the sample, right? Then precision, so because sample represents the population. So whenever there is a population is involved, usually the results will be vague. Vague in the sense not accurate. Okay. But when you take sampling, and when you select the good samples, better samples, quality samples, the precision will be like more. That is accuracy will be like more. So what are the steps in sampling design? Who are the target population? So in this case, we have identified the workers present like who were present during the time of the event. So they are the target population. So target population is the aggregation of elements from which the sample is actually selected. Then what are the parameters of interest? So for what we are like conducting a research. So the research is for like why the event has happened, what has triggered the event to happen, what was the outcome of the event, positive or negative. So if it is positive, so why? If it is negative, why? And what could be the decision taken thereafter. So this is the parameter of the interest. So parameters are summary of description of a given variable in a population. Then what is a sampling frame? It is a list of elements. How many you are going to pick up. So it is a list of elements from which the sample is actually drawn. So complete and correct list of population members only. Okay, only few. Then finally, what is the appropriate sampling method? So which sampling technique, research technique you are going to take? Quantitative or qualitative? Then what sample size is needed? So in this event, approximately how many workers can be interviewed? So I have given the scenario. So 100 workers in a factory location, and there is a shift supervisor, there is a manager, and along with these two workers, worker A and worker B, who were involved in a violent act. Okay, so what do you think? So how much could be the sample size? If you're given the responsibility of conducting the research, you have been instructed by the management, okay, please conduct a research and identify what has happened here. We need the results by today evening because we want to take decision whether to sack worker A or worker B. We want to know. Okay. So what is your suggestion? How many workers you will take as a sample size? Yes, your answers. Mm-hmm. Who and all you can consider as samples? Yeah. You understood the question, right? Yeah, I'm just waiting for your answers, guys. You can even give it as a chat. So how many of them you will take as a sample size? That's my question. And if five, if your answer is five, who are those five? Or if your answer is 10, who are those 10? Yeah. Can we make it fast? Because we hardly have 20 minutes more. No idea. See, very simple. See, your management is asking you to know, check what has happened. They're asking you to collect the information from the factory floor, what has happened, what triggered the interview. So you have to know, like ask from the co-workers only, right? You have 100 workers in the factory floor, and you have a shift supervisor, you have a manager who were present at the venue, and so how many samples you will be taking for conducting this research? Yeah, give me a rough figure, like you don't have to be very precise about it. It's an open-ended question.
About 50 percentage.
50 percentage. So you will interview around 50 workers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different opinion we can segregate with them. All person has
Okay.
their own opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
we will interview the employees, so we can get some
Mm-hmm.
common point from all the employees. So we can
Oh,
segregate with them.
okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. 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 Mr. Vijit has replied as 10. So who will be those 10, Mr. Vijit? All workers, or you will be interviewing any other persons, no other than the workers? Yeah, only two has replied. Yeah. What about others? Okay, so in this case, no, you have to involve the shift supervisor as well. You have to interview, though the person may not be present at the venue. Okay, but as a supervisor, this person may be knowing, no, about the people, no, about the workers, no, who are working under his or her supervision, right? So uh, sometimes no like professionally he may be knowing, sometimes personally no he may be knowing what kind of no like employees or workers no I am dealing with, I am supervising. Okay, so you have to involve the shift supervisor as well. Of course you have to like involve the manager as well, you have to interview the manager as well. Okay, and if at all necessary, if the no incident is something huge, say one person was severely injured, okay, because of the other worker, okay, so it has become no like um, what do you say, little what do you say, highly sensitive, and there is a situation, no, maybe a legal interference may be there. Okay, so that kind of situation is happening. In that case, no, you can inquire about the other workers, no, previous employment as well. If you know, if you have that those records, no, where the employee has not been employed previous before joining this organization. So what has happened there? How is the worker over there? How was his behavior, no, when he was in the previous organization? So this thing also could be done if at all required, not necessarily, but if the case is no little serious, okay, then the serious injury has happened. So definitely, no, you have to involve, no, like these people, whoever these persons were reporting to. Okay, so for example, say take the other scenarios also. If it is IT, no, like field, it's an IT industry. So two teammates, no, in a particular project, no, they got into some violent fight. So in that case, you have to know involve. You have to interview the team leader, the project manager. So no, like whoever is supervising the whole thing, no, supervising these people, no, they should also be involved. Okay. Yes. So that is the sample size no you will be taking. Okay. So give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. This no like have given an example is being given here. So let's skip it. Fine. Let's now directly go with types of sampling. So we have two types: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling is no like doing everything step by step. Okay, not randomly selecting something. Okay, so but if you're going to randomly select the sample, so that's going to be the non-probability sample. Okay, randomly you're picking up someone no to interview, to ask no what has happened, that's non-probability sampling. But if you're specific about the, okay, I'm going to do get the information from this particular people, I need at least 15 purple people's no their insights no about this event or about these two workers. So if you're no like particular about it, you can go for probability sampling. Now, in probability sampling, you have no like four sub-classifications: pure, random, systematic, stratified, and cluster. And in non-probability, you have convenience, purposive, quota sampling, and judgmental sampling. Now let's see one by one, really quick. Okay. Yeah, so first is probability sampling. So this we have already discussed. Pure random sampling. Everyone in the population of the inquiry has equal chance of being selected to be included in the sample. So as I said, 100 workers plus the shift supervisor and plus the manager, the manufacturer, or the process manager or the operations manager, whoever is available at the whoever was available at that shift. So everyone is included in this pure random sample. You're not leaving anyone in pure random sample. Almost all the samples related to this event is being inquired or is being questioned. So also called as the lottery or raffle type of sampling. And this may be used if the population has no differentiated levels, sections or classes, because all hundreds of workers, right? All 100 workers, no, they are in the same, almost the same, level, right? So done with or without replacement. Then there's systematic sampling. So every K, that is no nth name in a list may be selected to be included in a sample. So every nth means every fifth person, okay, or every 10th person, or every third person, out of the sample, you're picking it up and you're conducting the research, you're questioning them. So that is called systematic sampling. You're going in a systematic way. So it is also called as interval sampling. There is a gap or interval between each selected unit in the sample. It is used when the subjects or respondents in the study are arrayed or arranged in some systematic or logical manner, such as alphabetical arrangement. For example, you can say if the total manufacturing unit, it has 10 missions, and for each mission, 10 workers are allotted. Okay, so that's how 100 workers are working in the same shift, okay, at the same time. So you have 100 workers, that is 10 workers working on each mission, that is 10 missions you have. So what you can do is you can select two persons from each mission, that is for example, from mission 1, mission A, you can select two people, two workers. From mission B, you can select two people. So in this way, if you're selecting the samples, that's called systematic sampling. Then we go to stratified sampling, that is selecting the randomly samples from different strata of the population used in the study. Now, here also the same scenario from different machine workers who are selecting the sample, but not systematically, but randomly. Instead of calling the maybe systematic sampling, maybe just you're calling only the experienced personnel from each mission, okay, where they were working at. That is systematic, because you specifically want only the experienced workers. But stratified sampling is randomly you select from the group. Randomly you select from those 10 workers who were working in mission 1, and randomly other 2 workers who were working in mission 2. Okay, so that is stratified sampling. Then we have this cluster sampling. So total population is divided into 2 groups. Say for example, here we can divide the total 100 workers into 2 groups. Maybe experienced and no freshers, or you can completely select them, I mean divide them into based on the work they do. Maybe one group may be involved in the manufacturing operations, the other group they may be involved in operating the machinery or quality checking or packing, packaging. So you can select randomly from these 2 groups, so that's called cluster sampling. So required information is collected from sampled group randomly. So there is you have probability sample. That is each and every person, or what do you say, the correct sample is being picked up from a group, or even if it is a random, at least every group is involved in the sampling procedure. So then we have non-probability sampling. So here you're not following any rules, okay? You pick up randomly, you don't go for any systematic selection of the samples. So this sample is not a proportion of the population at all. So sometimes you don't have to inquire, conduct an inquiry from the workers itself. You can know like randomly you can conduct the ask a question. You can call the HR people because they would have like selected these workers, or you can call the you can question the security personnel, because this person was you have seen this person speaking to these particular worker very frequently, or like who were not closely related to the event. Okay, so that is not probability sampling. So no systematic way of selection is like done. The selection depends upon the situation. Convenience sampling. This we do most of the time, no? So according to our convenience, no, we pick up. Say for example, you work in the same organization. Now, when it comes to like now your management is asking to like check, make the inquiry about the event. Now uh, 5 to 6 workers, no, from that group, from that particular shift. You know them. Though 100 workers are working, but these 5 to 6 workers, no, you know very well. No, maybe because of their experience, or no, like maybe no, because you have communicated with them very frequently. You know them very well. Little no, like you're closer to them. So according to your convenience, since you know them very well, you're picking them up, no, for questioning. So this is called convenience sampling. So process of taking out people in the most convenient and fastest way to immediately get their reactions to a certain hot and controversial issue. Then is purposive sampling. So purposive sampling, you have two different types, quota sampling and judgmental sampling. So in quota sampling, specified number of persons of certain types of included in the sample. Certain types in the sense you have a category of selecting the people. Okay. For example, say one of the worker is North Indian. Okay, let's take this. And the other worker is a South Indian. So that is these two workers, no, who got into a fight. So one is a North Indian and one is a South Indian. And among the 100 workers, there are few North Indian workers as well. So what will you do? You will call all the remaining North Indian workers. You take them as a sample and you question them. So what is wrong with them? What has happened? Because of no like this language issue, no. So that might also have no like triggered the event, because one this person would have said something which is not understood by the other person. Same would have happened, right? So you call all the North Indian workers, no, to speak on behalf of this North Indian worker who got into the scuffle. So that's called quota sampling. Then is a judgment sample, simply based on certain judgments. You know about this worker A, you know about this worker B. You have a judgment, no prejudgment about these two people. So without doing a proper research, without questioning anyone, without doing an inquiry, you suddenly get into a conclusion. Okay, worker A should have been the problem. That person might have no triggered the this thing, event, because maybe the way he dresses, or the way he behaves, or the way he works, or he may be a frequent latecomer, or he would have taken more leaves, and you already have a bad opinion about him. Okay, so already you have prejudged about that work. So you just go for a pure judgment basis. Okay, so sample is taken based on certain judgments about the overall population. So here the researcher chooses a sample based on who they think would be appropriate for the study. So what I will do if I am in that position, and what I will do, I don't like worker A. So I jump into a conclusion that no, okay, worker A might have not triggered the issue. Worker A might have no got into the scuffle. Okay, so if I have no like thought like, so what I will do to support that decision, to support that judgment, I will try to collect no people who could support my decision, support my idea, support my judgment. Okay, so to my according to my convenience, and according no uh, for me no, I think okay, this is the appropriate solution. Okay, so whoever supports that solution, the decision, so I'll be taking them as a sample. So that's called judgmental sample. Clear? Clear as of now? Yeah.
Ma'am, I want to know more details. Systematic sampling.
Systematic sampling, no? You're selecting the sample from different groups in a systematic way. Yeah. So we are discussing about that scenario, right? Two workers who got into a violent fight in a manufacturing unit, right? So I even said, no, like there are 10 missions and 10 workers are no, like working on each mission. So if you're selecting two persons, two workers who are no like working as no like individual groups, okay? If you're selecting two workers in a systematic way, you're selecting only two experienced people, no, like from each group. That is systematic sampling. But if you're randomly selecting people from each group, that is stratified sampling. Clear?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. We have no like one more small topic. If you could be here for another 5 to 10 minutes, maybe no like I could take that as well. Are you okay with that? If yes, we can go. Yeah, give me a quick reply so that no, I can start taking.
Yes, ma'am, you can
Can
go
you
ahead.
guys? Yeah.
Okay,
Okay
ma'am. Go ahead.
then. Yeah. Okay, fine. So we are going to see about no how to collect the samples. Data. Okay, how to collect the data. Data is the information. Sample we have already decided. Now we are going to collect the information. Information is the the answer or no the suggestions or the input, no insights what they are going to give it to us. So first define the objectives. Why we are here? For what purpose? No, this investigation is being conducted, and define the variable and population of interest. So sometimes, no, like people may twist the information, but you have to make sure only the right information is taken into consideration. Define the data collection and data measuring schemes. Either you can record their conversation or you can write it in a feedback form or no, like you can document it in any way. Okay, so data define, no, like how you are going to collect the data and determine the appropriate descriptive and inferential data analysis techniques. So by what techniques no you're going to know like, use to collect the data. You can call them one by one to your cabin and you can make the inquiry. Or you can know like conduct a group inquiry. You can call a particular group, you can call them from the selected samples, no, you can call them to your cabin. Or you can go to their workplace, no, wherever the event has happened, you can go to their workplace and you can conduct the inquiry. Or you can know like select some other place, not in your cabin, not at their place, but select a common place, no, to conduct the inquiry. So define the objectives, then define the variable and population of interest, define the data collection schemes, and determine the appropriate descriptive or inferential data analysis. So variable, a characteristic about each individual element of a population or a sample. So that's called variable. For example, a college dean is interested in learning about the average age of the faculty. So here it is a variable, right? You're not taking the right one, you're taking the average thing. So that is the variable. And you have qualitative and quantitative this thing, no, to select, right? So whatever methods you would like, you can use it. So nominal variable is a qualitative variable which categorizes an element of a population. What? Basis, okay? Or describe the names of an element. So take the names of those workers, no? Or on whom you are going to conduct the inquiry. Then ordinal variable, qualitative variable that incorporates an ordered position or ranking. They are in which cadre or which level of management or no like which position no they are in. Then discrete variable, it can assume a countable number values. So discrete variable, it can assume corresponding to isolated points along a line interval. That is, there is a gap between any two values. We have seen, right, systematic sampling. So always there is a gap, right? So instead of no like collecting all the samples or collecting all the data, Go for only few data, no, which is required for time being. So you don't have to, the person, no, you're inquiring, no, the sample you're inquiring. That person may be saying, no, like how good the person A is, the worker A was, how good he was, what and all he has done from childhood and this thing, that thing. So that is not required right now. We are now going now discuss about, no, the thing, the incident which has happened now, recently. So you have to collect data only about that thing, you know, that person's no previous history, and no, that is not required for time being. So discrete variable, no, you can take. Then continuous variable, a quantitative variable which can assume an uncountable number of variables. So this is sometimes, no, this can be omitted, okay, completely omitted, because here we are going to come to an immediate conclusion, immediate decision making. So continuous variable is not required here. Continuous variable will be taken only if you're doing a quantitative research, quantitative investigation, which requires a lot of time. Okay, clear? And go for data collection techniques. You can collect it qualitatively, just randomly ask the questions and make a note of it, or go quantitatively, select a set of questions for each individual, and you can do with it, collect the data. And yeah, data collection is very much required to come to a conclusion. And you have no like primary data and secondary data. Primary data is no like done, you're just asking no like what has happened and what has triggered the the incident, who was wrong. This is the primary data you're collecting. Secondary data is diving deep into the events. Okay, so asking more intuitional questions about each and every person, what has triggered the event. Then go for interview, non-verbal, verbal communications, and it can be conducted by face-to-face or by telephone or through email, by online, whatever it is you can go. If you're going to use a questionnaire, a survey form, no, to collect the feedback, use only, like three elements. So introduction in the sense why this inquiry is being conducted, instructions, what should be given, okay, whatever insights they are giving, answers they are giving, so how it should be, and it should be little user friendly also. They should understand what question we are asking. Then finally go for observations and do a data analysis and compare the results, no, like whatever you have done, no, compare the results and finally submit it to your, the management. Clear? There are more, no, like things, but we can stop here. This is not required. So finally, compare the results. You have done first inquiry, the basic inquiry you have done right. Primary data, by collecting the primary data, you have the result. Then again, by collecting the secondary data, secondary information, in-depth information, you have the result. So finally, compare those results and submit your suggestions to your management. So finally, decision making is up to them. Clear? Yes. Hope I have covered everything. Yes. Any doubts? No doubts? Okay. So yeah, thanks for participating. I'll share the PPT with the coordinator and she will share it with you. Okay. So see you in another sessions. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.